that was something else, guys. Welcome to Hawaii, Maui. Get the hell out of here before I get sucked into the ocean. Yeah, that's shot on the brand new Insta360 X6 in the wild. In this video, we're gonna review this brand new camera in Maui. This is gonna be a very in-depth review. Whoa, look around. Woo! Yeah, very in-depth review. There's a chapter mark right here. You can jump through it, but I recommend you just watch all the way through. Learn about this camera first, the good, the bad, and the ugly in the wild. We're gonna talk about technical camera review first, and then we'll talk about underwater housing. We're gonna dive in there, inside the ocean in Maui, and show you the underwater housing and a fisheye. And then we also talk about low light performance, pure video in a Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. And then we'll talk about 360 photography. This is no hype, no bias review. We are gonna really use this camera in location in the wild and really test out this camera. I've been testing this camera for 2 months now, so I got a lot to say about it. If you're looking for buying this camera, hold on first. Watch this unbiased review. Learn about the bad thing, the good thing, the ugly thing, and then you decide. So now let's go to the technical review together.
Hey, what is up, everybody? It is your dog, Kimchi. Hugh was being a stupid influencer and got sucked into the blowhole in Hawaii. So I'm taking over the X6 review. This is shot on the Insta360 X6 Kimchi style. Look at my double chin. That is a 14.5 stop of dynamic range, giving you...
Kimchi, what do you took my X6? I told you that is not a dog toy.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, Kimchi lied. I did not die in Hawaii, but that place is danger. I found out later that people had died at that exact blowhole. So please, do not attempt what I just did. No shot is worth your life. Take Kimchi advice, do not be that stupid influencer. Okay, back to the camera. For my first look video, you already know the X6 is smaller than the X5. But smaller does not mean lighter. Here is the weight comparison. The X6 is slightly lighter than the X5, but still heavier than the DJI Osmo 360. All three are pocket-friendly though, so I would not lose sleep over a few little grams. Now, the sensor. It's not 1 inch, it is 1/1.1 inch, or as Insta360 put it, a 1 inch equivalent sensor. That is the same size class as the DJI Osmo 360 and the Avata 360. But here is the differences. Insta360 went on the record on their website. These are custom Sony sensor, a square sensor built for 360 cameras with no wasted pixel. Sony make great image sensor. I do not think anyone can argue with that. DJI never told us who make the Osmo 360 sensor. So, and remember what Kimchi said about his double chin? Oh, wait, no. The dynamic range. Kimchi said dynamic range, right? Insta360 said that, and Kimchi said that it's 14.5 stop of dynamic range on the X6. DJI said on their website, Osmo 360 is only 13.5. So on paper, that is a one stop advantage, but that's on paper. So I'm just gonna leave it there, right? I'm not going to compare spreadsheet anymore like others. I'm going to compare footage, 360 footage, not with frame. With frame is what 99.9% of the review video you already watched are showing you. The full 8K 360 X6 immersive video is on YouTube VR right now. Link on the screen right here and in the description down below. You can look around on your phone or fully immerse inside your Meta Quest or M5 Apple Vision Pro. And by the way, YouTube will not give you true 8K by default. Go into the quality setting right here and set it manually. So I'm assuming you already watched that immersive video. Now, let's look at some charted technical image quality comparison. Detail in the distance, dynamic range, and stitching quality together. First, let us establish the baseline, which most comparisons do not do. We need to know how much better or worse 8K 360 video is compared to a normal 4K video, like the 4K video from the Insta360 Lunar Ultra. That way, you can decide if a 360 camera is for you or if you should just skip the category entirely. I think the result is pretty clear here. Even though the X6 is the closest to the Lunar Ultra's 4K 30 frames per second image quality, it is still not as good. And I think it will never be as good as a 4K camera. to reach the similar quality, we will need 16K camera. So if you really want cinematic quality and you are not making 360 video or social media video, if you are a true filmmaker, for example, skip the 360 camera category entirely. You will be disappointed unless you can afford a $30,000 URSA Cine Immersive. We actually put the X6 on top of the URSA Cine Immersive and shot the same sunset in Maui to see the difference in image quality. Even though the X6 is matching the URSA Cine Immersive in dynamic range and sharpness, as you can see right here, quite impressive by the way, it just does not have that cinematic image quality when you zoom into faces. The gap is very obvious. No one on the internet will compare the X6 to a $30,000 immersive camera because almost no one reviewing the X6 is a professional filmmaker who has the gears and understanding the language of immersive cinema. So if you appreciate the effort and the depth we go into this, please consider subscribing. You are helping a working filmmaker reviewing the tool that push this storytelling medium forward, not just another hype video. Now that we have the baseline, let's look at the Insta360 X6 versus the X5 versus the DJI Osmo 360, all in 8K 30 frames per second. Let's zoom into my face, about 10 to 11 feet away from the camera. They all look kind of bad, but we can clearly see that winner here. The X6 is the best looking of the three. Let us zoom closer to the center chart. You cannot read the text on the X5. It looks like some AI generated text. On the X6, the result, I will say, is night and day better. You can clearly read the text, Fujifilm right here. The DJI Osmo 360 is also not as good as the X6. Let's take a look at 8K 50 frames per second mode. Both the X6 and the DJI Osmo 360 can capture 50 frames per second in 8K. I still think the X6 is slightly better than the Osmo 360 here, but the differences now is very marginal. So in daylight, I think the Insta360 X6 is the winner, marginally better than the DJI Osmo 360, and a lot better than the X5. But not so fast. Not all the daytime mode on the X6 are equal. Let's find out the absolute best setting on the Insta360 X6 for daytime capture. Here is the 3 different modes on the X6, and I think 8K 30 frames per second ILOC is the best mode by far. On DJI, 8K 30 and 8K 50 quality are very similar, and D-Log M is available in both. But on the Insta360, ILOC is only available in 8K 30 frames per second, and we can see here, 8K 30 with ILOC is better than 8K 50. Even at just 8K 30 frames per second, ILOC still gives you better quality than Rec 709, even if you just slap on a LUT. And if you look further back, on the brick wall behind the chart, you can clearly see the over sharpening and the over clarity boost. That AI enhanced look that is not on my actual wall. Zoom in even further and you see that over sharpening halo around the high contrast areas. It just looks really ugly. I know Insta360 keeps advertising the new AI chips and the on-camera AI image processing, but the only way to avoid the ugly AI look is to shoot in ILOC and bypass all the unwanted AI enhanced artifacts. Baked-in AI never does good to your image. Creators are already getting backlash for using AI. The last thing you want is your footage having that AI look. So I highly recommend you to shoot in ILOC to avoid that over-processed look.
Hugh, you forgot the GoPro Max too. Is that a really good 360 camera? It captured true 8K, right?
Right, Kimchi. So here we have the GoPro Max 2 versus the X6 versus the X5 versus the DJI Osmo 360. This time, we put the eye chart more than 20 feet away to really test distant detail fall off and resolution accuracy. Here is the result. In bright daylight, I think the GoPro Max 2 is not bad. It is actually still better than the X5 and the Osmo 360. It feels less compressed with less digital artifacts, but the X6 is still looking better than the GoPro Max 2. Before we move on, credit where credit is due. GoPro is struggling right now, and they are not flooding your feed with paid promotion the way DJI and Insta360 are. but some history that only OG 360 creators will remember. GoPro built one of the first 360 camera rig with Google back in 2012. That is where 360 capture started. Then the GoPro Fusion and the free reframe plugin for Adobe Premiere brought the reframing to Action 360 camera. Without GoPro, there is no Insta360 and there is no DJI in this category at all. They all copy each other, but Google and GoPro pioneered this medium. So do not make fun of GoPro, thank them instead. Now, let's pan the camera towards the sun and check lens flare. You all know from my original DJI Osmo 360 review, the Osmo 360 has very minimum welding flare, which indicate a very higher quality lens. But the X6 beat that too. Look at that. You barely notice any lens flare on the X6. Now, we cannot ignore the elephant in the room. DJI just announced the Osmo 360 II. It launched one day after this video. We could not get one in time, but the rumor did say that the Osmo 360 II keep the same 1/1.1 inch sensor as the original Osmo 360 with replaceable lens system like the DJI Avata 360 with 60 frames per second support. So let us take this comparison to the sky. So right now we have the Insta360 X6 attached on my stabilizer right here on a professional drone. This is the DJI Mavic. So we're gonna fly it to capture 360 in aerial, and then I'm gonna compare the image quality with the 360 drone, arguably the best 360 camera out there in the market. This is the DJI Avata 360. So if you know the rumor, you know that the rumor said that the DJI Osmo 2 is gonna use the same lens system and the same sensor setup of the Avata 360 to reach 8K 60 frame. So it will be really interesting to actually find out which has the best image quality. We're gonna film it in 50 frames per second, we're gonna film it in 60 frames per second, and then we'll take off from the sky and we're gonna chart it right there. And we look at the chart and look at also like decent detail in here to really find out like, is the image quality better on this one? Or is it flying with a old school style with the X6 better? We'll find out. First, we have bow drone 2 meters above the eye chart. The X6 stitch line is pointing right at the chart, so this is unfair for the X6. But besides some stitching artifacts, the X6 is hold up pretty well against the Avata 360. Now, look forward 10 meters out. You can see that X6 is better than Avata 360. Very obvious.
Wait, Hugh, you are comparing the X6 sweet spot to the Avata 360 stitch line. Not fair!
Well, that is true, Kimchi. Good eyes. So let us fly up 50 meters above the sky, look at miles and miles away, the Santa Monica mountain range and the freeways. At this distance, stitching artifacts do not matter anymore. This is pure sensor quality. Zoom in and take a closer look. They both look very similar in detail and sharpness, but the Avata 360 has more noise and that fuzzy compression artifacts, just like what you saw in the Osmo 360. The X6, on the other hand, is clear with almost no noise. Now pan toward the sun and the differences is very obvious. You see the nuclear hot spot of the sun in the DJI Avata 360. Even in D-Log M, the X6 has no eye-lock in 8K 50 frames per second, but even just Rec 709, the 10-bit and that 14.5 stop of dynamic range really show in this aerial 360 capture. The highlight roll-off on the X6 is beautiful. Now for the next pure hardware advantage on the X6, the 14.5 stop of dynamic range. We have Kitty standing in a dark room and outside is very bright. Both the X5 and the GoPro Max 2 lost all the detail outside. The X6 and the DJI Osmo 360 are both in lock mode. But you can tell the X6 retains highlight detail better than the Osmo 360. You can also see the eye lock behave very similar to Sony S-Lock, thanks to Sony making that sensor. A lot more room for color grading, highlight recovery, and shadow recovery. Now, let us talk about 360 stitching, the thing normal camera reviewers do not even know to cover. When we are in a simple scene, 2 layers of depth, like right here, The AI stitching in Insta360 and the high precision stitching in DJI software are both really good. It only breaks when I am literally touching the camera on the side. But when you go to the other side with 4 layers of depth, now you can see the stitching problem on the DJI Osmo 360. The X5 tends to make subject kind of skinnier. Only the Insta360 X6 AI stitching keep the subject at its original scale, as you can see right here. So for 360 stitching, Insta360 X6 is the winner when handling complex scene. But it's not perfect though. Here, we put the X6 in the tree with multiple layers of complex depth. The AI is freaking out trying to get the accurate stitching. In this situation, switching to optical flow will give you a better result than AI. But the best approach is still to avoid this situation completely. Know the limit of your camera and plan accordingly. Low light. Now, let us move on to the next big topic, low light performance. Before I show you the AI-powered low light modes, which every creator will jump straight to, let us establish the baseline again. We have all 3 cameras rolling at the same time at Dodger Stadium in the exact same setting. ISO 800, 1/60 shutter speed.
Oh, look at that! We have a really good cosplay couple right there.
Okay, focus. The DJI Osmo 360 already has pretty significant sensor noise. The X6 seems to have in-sensor denoising even in the normal capture mode. It literally has no noise at ISO 800. The X5 is losing color fidelity in the shadow right here, with weird halo effect around the high line. The X5's baseline is already looking pretty bad. Now, let us switch to low light mode. Pure video on Insta360 and SuperNight mode on DJI. The brightness of these 3 videos now look almost identical. They are all well exposed. But the X5 still had significant noise around moving people, which is very bad. I generally do not use pure video on X5 for this exact reason. It destroys your footage to the point that it's useless. DJI has no noise, just like the X6, but now everything is very soft. Look at the Dodger jersey on these guys, or this group of people. It feels like a very greasy finger smudged the lens. Everything just looks blurry. Now, let us take a look at some extreme example. We are at the rooftop parking lot in downtown Los Angeles. Extreme dark. Take a look at the result. I think it's very obvious who is the new low light king in 360 camera. The X6 right here. There is so much detail in the highlight, you can literally see inside someone's office, which is pretty impossible for any small sensor 360 camera. Stabilization. Okay, now look at the trail in front of us. It's really rough, right? I'm gonna do a running test to really test the stabilization between all these cameras right here. Let's go. As you can see, they are all super stable. In 2026, we do not really need to worry about 360 stabilization anymore. They should not be a deciding factor when you're picking up a 360 camera. Audio. I'm just gonna walk into the trial and just do some normal talking. So to see like, how good is the audio sound. My test 1, 2, 3. 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 Going downhill! Woo! Woo! Whoa! Going downhill! Going downhill! Going downhill! Woo! Woo! Whoa! Going downhill! Going downhill! Going downhill! Woo! Woo! Whoa! Going downhill! Going downhill! As you hear, for normal usage, they all sound great. But for sport and situation with a strong wind, the X6 is better than the others, thanks to its brand new 360 Windproof microphone. A built-in Windproof mic is more essential than you think. Here, we are capturing a beautiful sunset on the beach in Maui, Hawaii. We want the location sound to sit in the exact same spatial position as the camera. We call this spatial audio capture. and it's pretty hard to fit an external Ambisonic microphone on the rig without it showing up on the frame. So listen to the audio captured directly on the X6. You can hear the crashing waves clearly without any wind noise, and that is very impressive because as you can see right here, it was actually a pretty windy day. For 360 creator like us, a good internal microphone is not nice to have, it is a must to have. Now, if Insta360 can give us true Ambisonic spatial audio using all 4 of the microphones, that will be a dream come true. The GoPro Max had it, the Cam 3 Ultra has it, Insta360 should has it for immersive creator to set themselves apart from DJI Osmo 360. Ambisonic format is also going to be very beneficial for 2D reframe video. It is like having raw on audio. So drop a comment below if you really want Insta360 to listen to us and you and build this important feature into the future X6 firmware update. Overheating. I'm out of breath already, so I think I'm gonna back pretty soon. It's pretty hot, I don't wanna lie. Again, I gotta do an overheat test soon after this, so it's gonna be tough. I'll have fate. And let's see who gonna overheat. Is the camera gonna overheat first or me gonna overheat first? Let's find out. So we waited till the hottest day of summer in California to do the overheating test. If the X6 can survive in this desert heat, it will survive in any condition. Today, we have 90 to 92 degrees Fahrenheit, high sun at noon. We line up all 4 cameras, the GoPro Max 2, the Insta360 X5, the X6, and the DJI Osmo 360. All start at the exact same time with the fully charged fresh battery and an empty 120GB SD card. Let us see who died first. Let's talk about the setting of this test. Both Insta360 and DJI have recommended camera setting for battery and overheating tests. But obviously, I'm not gonna follow them like a good puppy here. I'm going to use my recommended setting, which is I think everyone who has the X6 should use to get the absolute best image quality out of this camera. So my X6 setting right here is 8K 30 frames per second in iLog, high bitrate. Never shoot at standard bitrate. I also set the screen to auto turn off in 5 minutes. You need to see what you are capturing. Turning off automatically in 90 seconds during a recording is just silly and not practical. The Osmo 360 is the same. 8K 30 in D-Log M. We force the X6 screen to stay on the whole time, so we have a reference point for the time span. The X5 is famous for lasting forever and never get overheat, so I think it will be fine. I think the X6 or the DJI will probably be the first one to go, not the X5. Oh, GoPro. GoPro's done. Surprise, surprise! The GoPro Max 2 on the latest firmware went out first, overheated before it even passed 10 minutes. What a shame. Okay, so it's 25 minutes in, my Sony overheat. So my main camera cannot be used because it's just too hot in the desert in California. So unfortunately, I'll swap to right now streaming the Insta360 Luna Ultra. We're 25 minutes in, GoPro died in 9 minutes already. DJI is actually turned off because it's the device overheat, screen turned off. It did not die. DJI is smart. DJI know that device is very hot right now and it forces you to turn the screen off so you can't pack it on right now. You just turn off. See, device overheat, screen will turn off. But it's still rolling. It did not lose your footage. You just can't see the feed anymore. So we'll see. So I'm going to show you something really interesting. So right here, X5, if you read it, the heat gun is 146 degrees Fahrenheit. X6, you can't read it. Look at the graph, it's very evenly distributed. The heat is very evenly distributed. None of the areas, the surface area is above 140 Fahrenheit. I would say like 140, actually hit 140 now, but it's around 137 to 140. Look at DJI, it's bad right here. It's all the white spot is bad. So look at that. They all have white area. Look at that, X5 white area, 140, 138. Calculating. 145, actually hot. DJI, 144, 143. But X6, it did not see any white spot on the camera body at the heat gun. The heat is being evenly distributed during recording, so that is pretty small. So yes, the body is smaller, but they also distribute the heat faster and smarter for the X6. So in theory, this camera can last longer because it's never accumulate heat in the camera body. So pretty smart design. So don't make fun of the small body of the X6 anymore. Ooh. Oh, look at that. X5 overheat. Oh my God, that never happened. 40 minutes in, my X5 went down. Overheated. That one surprised me, as my X5 has never overheat on me. Given that I left the screen on the whole time, sure, but still though, it showed you this is a really extreme test. If the X6 survived this, you really do not need to worry about overheating at all. Okay, DJI just died. DJI just died. Completely. Okay. So, you hear the sound? Meaning, this is that too. So, at the end, after 1 hour, 21 minutes, and 51 seconds, the Osmo 360 battery completely depleted and forced to shut down. It did not overheat though. The X6 kept going for almost 5 more minutes and shut down at 1 hour, 26 minutes, and 29 seconds. No more juice. So neither camera overheat, but the X6 still win this round as the battery lasts longer than the Osmo 360. Not by a lot though, 4 minutes and 38 seconds to be exact. I also want to point out, X6 was captured at a pretty high bitrate the whole time, up to 200 megabits per second, and used up the entire 128 gigabyte of storage, which literally 30 seconds of the recording time left. If the battery did not go out first, the storage will. In post-production, you will see the recording is broken down into 3 parts, but there is no missing footage in between them, like the old X4 problem. It is one continuously 86-minute 8K to 60 video. Very impressive. I do not think you can find any camera that can beat this. It is an engineering marvel. Good job, Insta360. Underwater housing. So right now we are gonna review the Insta360 X6 inside the underwater housing right here. So, and compare it to the X5 underwater housing to find out which one is the best for underwater. And we're gonna dive in here. We're in Maui, Hawaii. And then we're gonna dive into the water. Not this, but we're gonna dive this in the water. And really show you the stitch line and how the image works. As you can see, the shadow details are a lot better on the X6 and the highlights are very smooth, very cinematic, thanks to that 10-bit color and 14.5 stop of dynamic range. All of these are essential for underwater capture. The lens edge are a lot sharper on the X6 as well, showing the high quality of the underwater housing. So yes, on pure image quality, there's no doubt the X6 underwater setup is better. But I would not say that the X6 is automatically better than the X5. In order to go into the casing, go underwater, you actually swap the lens in an air-conditioned, dust-free, dry environment. So it's a hassle, and to be honest, if you do a lot of underwater housing, well, the thing is, if you have the special lens in, you cannot use it above ground. You have to only use it underwater, so you can only use it for diving and underwater activity. Then above water, you can go back into an air-conditioned room, pop the underwater lens out, and then replace it with the regular lens. And then you recalibrate the camera for switching artifacts, recalibrate, and then you can use it, right? And then you can use it above water. So it's a hassle and it's a risk. You scratch the lens, you leave dust in the system, or you miscalibrate it, and then you ruin the shot above water. So it is, pretty and hassle. So that's why I think that this convenient-wise is not convenient at all. So if you're one of those guys just like really dirty and you're gonna be on the boat to do a lens swap and do all the kind of stuff, I think it's better just stick with the X5 with the original underwater housing. 360 photo. Now, let's talk about 360 photo quality, because there are a lot of 360 virtual tool creators follow this channel. The X6, just like the X5 and the Ricoh Theta Z1, has HDR, bracketed 360 photo at DNG RAW, and the X6 has the exact same resolution as the DJI Osmo 360, 120 megapixel, 15,520 by 7,760 to be precise. Let us look at the 360 photo quality at Dodger Stadium together. You can see the X6 captures significantly more detail and sharpness than the X5. And compared to DJI Osmo 360, the X6 does not have that really strange fuzziness around the edges, and it captures detail that the Osmo 360 simply just cannot. This is a pretty obvious win. The Insta360 X6 has the best overall 360 photo quality. Not to mention it had RAW. If you like 360 time-lapse photography, you'll be happy to know the X6 now can capture the highest resolution 360 time-lapse you can get from a pocket 360 camera, 16K at 30 frames per second, all thanks to the new Pro AI chip and an improved image buffer. But does that mean the X6 is a better travel 360 photo camera? Well, not quite. If you watch my Insta360 Lunar Ultra video right here, you know the Lunar Ultra can capture an 8K 360 photo by stitching multiple shots together. And because it is stitched result, the final detail is still better than the 15K photo from the Insta360 X6. Yes, the Lunar Ultra photo is noisier with more artifacts since it is a smaller file. But if Insta360 gives us DNG in the future firmware update, the Lunar Ultra is still the better 360 photo camera for virtual tour and 360 nature photography. Because most online platforms top out at 8K anyway, not 15K. So do not blindly follow the number and the advertisement. Those mean nothing for actual image quality. The X6 multi-bracket HDR 360 virtual tour workflow is a bigger topic, and we will have a dedicated review and tutorial coming up very soon. Accessories. One beautiful thing about the Insta360 ecosystem is the accessory. The X6 shares the same quick release system as the X5, so most of your old mount will still work with the X6, except cages and batteries. As I teased in my first video, there's now this all-new magnetic contact design right here. It allows controlling and powering the camera without any open ports. One of the must-have accessories is the brand new power selfie stick. It slaps onto the camera and start charging it immediately. It also allows you to power the camera on and off, start and stop recording, and even changing setting, all while the selfie stick is fully extended. We also have this foldable travel selfie stick right here with leg built in. You can fold it, just like so, and fit the whole thing in your pocket, right? And you can buy this little remote control right here, and then control the camera over Bluetooth. I actually use this to capture my friend DJ show on Venice Beach, and also to remote start and stop the recording doing a shuffle lesson with Stephanie from LA Shufflers. So here is my verdict. If you are still on the X5, this is a big update. Better sensor, better stitching, better load line, better everything we test today. And I have not even mentioned the 47GB built-in storage, the new Wi-Fi 6 high-speed transfer, and up to 20 meter waterproof without a dive case. If you are choosing between the X6 and the DJI Osmo 360, the X6 won almost every round in this review. And with the Osmo 360 II launching one day after this video, on paper as a refreshment, the X6 should be the better buy, at least for now. But we do not really know until we have the Osmo 360 II on hand to test. Next up, we dive into underwater capture with the X6 with our good friend, YouTuber Jordan Hendrick, and the full immersive 360 video workflow inside DaVinci Resolve. How to render the best quality 360 video for YouTube VR or your Apple Vision Pro, as you just saw on my channel. Subscribe if you do not want to miss any of those. I will see you inside the immersive 360 review of the X6, also just released right here or in the next tutorial. Ciao, my friend!